All right, so in basketball, everything is about matchups. All right, everything is about matchups. The reason I'm saying that is it's only a select few teams in the world on any type of level that's going to have immense talent, right? So chances are on your team, you're not going to be able to match up with that immense talent, right? So what's your alternative? Right? You could just lose the game and just say they're more talented than us, or you can find solutions. All right, I'm a solution oriented person. All right, I want to find solutions. All right, I have to find a crack in the armor where I can exploit it. Right, the best way to do that is matchups, finding disadvantages. All right, so right here, I'm going to show you some clips from Butler against Duke 10 years ago. All right, in the national championship game. As we all know by now, we all know how great of a coach Brad Stevens is, especially when it comes to executing and finding matchups. All right. So what we're going to exploit here, okay, is this guy right here. All right. Brian Zubek. Brian Zubek. Okay. He was an amazing high school basketball player in the state of New Jersey. All right, had a stellar career at Duke. Pretty much a dirty work guy at Duke, but he served his purpose. All right, everybody can't be a scorer, and he definitely served his purpose for the team. All right, but um, Brad Stevens knew he couldn't match up with Duke as far as player for player. You just couldn't. You got John Shire, you got Kyle Singler, you got Nolan Smith. Like they was loaded, right? So I mean, he did have Haywood, but he knew he couldn't match up with them player for player. All right. So what Brad Stevens did is what every coach should be doing when you go against teams that's just superior to you in talent. All right. He exploited weaknesses. He exploited weaknesses of Duke, which in this case was Brian Zubek. All right, Duke kept him in the game. I'm assuming because he was a really good rebounder, offensive and defensively. Wasn't really a scorer, but he gave them a lot of second chance shots for Zubek and Singler and Shire to do what they do, right? So they kept him on the floor. So Brad Stevens tested that in this game, right? He said, okay, you want to keep him on the floor, we're going to exploit him. All right, so that's what we're going into here. Matchups. All right, everything is about matchups, and Brad Stevens exploited that to a T, and made Duke look pretty laughable in this game that time. It's just to be honest with you. All right, so first set right here. All right, a lot of movement, as you see, right? Duke already, they're already scrambling, right? You see Zubek again in the middle, basically guarding anybody. All right, you got Singler trying to get back to his guy. You got this guy in Duke getting screened. All right, already exploiting him. All right, they set him off a double down screen on the backside, and they get an open shot. All right, all because Brian Zubek is not a guy that likes to set out on a perimeter. Right, Brad Stevens know that, right? So he's going to put him in moving situations. He's going to put him in ball screens. He's going to put him in situations that he's uncomfortable, right? So right off the rip, that's what Butler does right here. And they get an open three. He's communicating, Zubac's communicating, but he's not moving anywhere, right? Brad Stevens knows that. Brad Stevens knows that. All right, so he's saying, okay, y'all let me get away with it once. All right, let's keep trying it. Let's keep trying it. Let's see if Duke makes any adjustments. They had Brian Zubek showing, not hedging. They had him showing in this game, right? And Brad Stevens knew that, and Butler players knew that. They were smart enough to take advantage of that. All right, he wasn't coming out doing a full hedge. He was just showing, as you see right here. So Brad Stevens say, okay, let's try it again. So they set another double ball screen, right? So as you see, I said Brian Zubak was showing on this place. This is a show, right? What Brian Zubek is doing right now. He's not doing a full hedge where he's stopping this guy from coming over. No, he's showing. So that means you show and you're supposed to get back. All right, but the problem is, one, Butler knows that he's just showing and he's not full out hedging. So this guy with the basketball is still going to drag this play as much as possible because he's not coming out to stop him. So that's one thing. But the second thing is it's the rotation in the back. All right, Brian Zuback coming all the way out here is messing up everybody's rotation in the back, which puts more pressure on this guy right here, Lance Thomas and Singler. All right, because now they're at a disadvantage. And as you see, Butler takes care of that. They take advantage of that. All because Brian Zuback can't make the rotation. They get a layup. You got Nolan Smith spinning. You got Lance Thomas late on the rotation. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. As you see, look at Nolan Smith. He's spinning around. You got Lance Thomas late on the rotation. Butler gets a layup. Right? Using their strengths. Using what they can exploit of Duke's, which wasn't many things this year. Like, again, this was a great Duke team, right? But they found things to exploit. They found cracks in the armor. That's all you got to do as a coach and as a player. Just find some weakness that an opponent has, right? That a player has. It only takes one. And you just make it huge, right? So, again, in transition, right? So, again, just another nuance. More coaches in high school should teach secondary break, all right? But just for the sake of this, so Butler ran a pick and roll on our secondary break, right? Duke is scrambling again. Brian Zuback going back on his heels, right? His man that's guarding the basketball gets screened, right? So now technically it's Brian Zuback and this guy one-on-one, which is one of the few mismatches Butler has, and they continue to exploit it. Why? Because Duke continues to leave him on the floor, and as you see the result, another basket. Right? Can't make this game hard. Just because the team is more athletic than you, just because the team is overall better than you, don't mean they don't have weaknesses. This Duke team is by far way better than Butler, just on a talent standpoint. But they don't got Brad Stevens either, right? You know, like, so that's what I'm saying. You just keep playing hard and you find weaknesses and you exploit them. You'll be in the game, which Butler was at the end of this game. All right. So next we got next time down again. This is just a well executed ran play by Brad Stevens on my next segment. Like, I'm definitely still in this play. And that's another thing. Coaches, don't be afraid to steal. All right. That's what it's here for. That's what film is here for. Definitely steal. So what Brad Stevens did again, so he just cleared out. So they just came down acting like they're running their traditional offense, and he just cleared these guys out, right? So he can go right up their back and go to the lane. I think that's a beautiful, simple concept. All right, if you got a real strong, quick guard that can get to the basket really quick and on the drop of a dime, I would definitely do this. All right, so what happens? You just go off hard, and then the last segment is the most important part. All right, just like I told y'all a couple videos ago on the European pick and roll, look at what this guy does. He seals the man off at the basket, so that way the guard has an open opportunity to go. So essentially, he's setting a pick and roll inside the paint, which is just, I think, it's just gorgeous basketball. Gorgeous basketball. But again, finding ways to get buckets. Like, you got to find ways to get easy buckets against good teams, because it's really hard to just keep running your stuff and just be successful at it, right? It's really hard to do that. So you got to find ways to get easy buckets. And they did a good job of that right here. So, again, I know I talk about, again, Butler running their secondary break, right? They come straight into a pick and roll. Guess who's in the pick and roll again, right? Brian Zuback, obviously, right? Now Butler went to their bench, and they got a shooter. That's a big man on the court, right? Running it. So he's going to set this or slip it and pop, right? And I know I show this a lot, but again, this is so important when you got big men on the court, guys that can't slide their feet. This pick and pop. All right, he never set the screen. Look what it did to the defense. Now Brian Zuback is out of position. Got an open three. Make the game simple, right? Duke had a choice. All right, either you keep Brian Zuback on the court and you might get an extra offensive rebounds and you might be able to rebound the basketball, or you go small, right? Pick your poison. Brad Stevens found one weakness, one crack in his armor, and he exploited it the entire game. The entire game. Beautiful job by Butler and Brad Stevens. Dude didn't know what to do. All right, and right here, again, just great movement, great ball movement, great fundamentally sound basketball. Everybody's movement, ball fakes, keeping your pivot down, shot. You don't have to be a superior, talented team to win. This is part of the reason that I'm showing you this. You don't have to do so. Is it hard this way? Yeah, it's easier at times when you have more talent as athletes, sure. But to say you can't get it done, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. All right? You can have the same effect. You can have the same effect. Again, right here. So they find a mismatch, right? So everybody switches. Everybody switches. Zubak comes out and he does his show, which again Butler is ready for. But now look at him. He's in no man's land, right? He supposed to get back to this paint, but then he sees nobody's out here and he just sits here, right? While Butler has a mismatch with their best low post threat. Again, finding ways to get easy baskets, not just coming down and dribbling the ball 14 times and just trying to go score it. No, find ways to get an advantage. All right, Butler passes the ball, they get advantage on the backside, bam, layup. Again, make the game simple for you. Make the game simple for you, coaches. Coaches and players, make the game simple for you. So again, we in the second half. Duke still hasn't adjusted, right? So what you think Butler's gonna do? Zubac steps out. It's just started like it started becoming laughable, right? And we all know how good Coach K is and his staff and Duke as a whole, but it was like, it was like, and then you look at the poor kid Zubac, and he was a good player, right? He's a solid player, but look at him, like he's doing the same thing. He literally has his back turned while a guy is driving the basketball, right? He has his back turned. Lance Thomas is pointing, telling him to do whatever, and again, Butler's just going up his back, because Duke won't adjust, and they get layup after layup. And it just really became comical, but this can happen when you find a chip in the armor, right? That can happen. They found something and they exploited it. They didn't try to get all sexy with it and try to run all this sophisticated, elaborate offenses. No. They just kept it simple. All right, just kept it simple. Found mismatches, exploited it, and they was in the game at the end. Did they win? No, but that's all you can ask for. It's being in the game at the end. All right, in this last segment, I just want to show you again one more pick and roll. Look, it's 1 minute left in the second half. 1 minute left, and Duke is still playing the same defense. Still playing the same defense because they want Zubac on the floor that much. All right, and as a result, you see he steps out, puts Singler in a terrible position on the backside. Singler guarding two, got to make a choice. What you think happened? You're right. Another layup for Butler. All right. So the reason I made this video again because I just want you to know that mismatches can make you a dominant team. Finding mismatches as a coach, finding mismatches as a player. I don't care if another team has 5 All-Americans on there, right? If none of them are perfect, right? LeBron got flaws. Everybody got flaws. You just got to find those flaws and expand it, and minimize their strengths. All right, which Brad Stevens did a great job of in this. All right, hit the subscribe button, bottom right hand corner. Comment below, share. All comments are good comments. Talk to you guys soon.